Welcome back. The International Energy Agency warning the surprise oil output cuts from OPEC Plus could fuel inflation and hurt the global economy. Oil prices this morning are pulling back, but we're still at very elevated levels. Take a look. Crude oil at 82.08. That is down 0.5% this morning. Brent is at 85.89, down 0.5% this morning. Joining me now is American Exploration and Energy Council President and CEO Ann Bradbury. Ann, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. What's your assessment of where we are in oil right now?
Well, this is really critical because, as you know, energy is so foundational to every sector of our economy. When the price of energy goes up, the price of everything goes up. And what we're hearing from IEA is that global demand is going to reach an all-time high later this year. And this, coupled with OPEC's announced cuts, could lead to a really significant supply-demand imbalance that could lead to a significant increase in prices, which could exacerbate inflation later in the year. This is a huge concern, and it's a reminder of why we need to be investing in our own domestic resources today, and why this administration should be putting in policies today to allow us to meet tomorrow's growing energy demand.
Yeah, I mean, look, Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm says that now the U.S. is planning to refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and she says she hopes to refill it at lower prices. But how could she refill it at lower prices? Because prices are already higher. I spoke with the Canary CEO, Dan Eberhardt, last week on this program. Here's what he said about prices right now for oil and refilling that strategic reserve. Watch.
We definitely have a Goldilocks scenario for oil exiting 2023, at $100 a barrel or higher. I think that's inevitable at this point. And I also think the Biden administration seems to, I can't stress enough how missing the window to replace the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is just really bad for our national security and really bad for consumers. I wish the administration has left us completely unprepared. And I think that, there's an oil price spike is inevitable at this point.
So, Ann, let's go through it. I mean, we're at the lowest levels in the Strategic Reserve since the 1980s, and refilling it is not going to be easy, and it's obviously not going to be cheap. You're at $82 a barrel right now.
That's exactly right. And let's keep in mind that this administration depleted our strategic petroleum reserves to manipulate gas prices in the run-up to an election. That is not what our strategic reserve was intended for. It's to address short-term price spikes from national security events or natural disasters, not to manipulate gas prices over the long run. So this administration absolutely should refill the SPR as soon as practicable. That's in the best interest of every American for our national security issues. But then we should also be thinking about what is the plan going forward to ensure that we're not depleting our strategic reserves when gasoline prices go up. And the answer to that is to looking at policies today to ensure that we can mitigate high prices in the future. Maria, as you know, oil and gas production is not something that can be turned on and off with the flip of a switch. So we need to be thinking today about how we encourage more domestic production in the future.
Yeah, and they have so mismanaged this. It's unbelievable. Climate envoy John Kerry will not give up. He attended the G7 meeting in Japan over the weekend, and there he claimed that there's no turning back on the climate change agenda. In an interview with the Associated Press Sunday, Kerry said, quote, "So much has been invested in clean energy that there can be no rolling back of moves to end carbon emissions." Ann, your thoughts?
So, I mean, I think we could actually agree that we should continue pursuing a lower carbon future. But what Secretary Kerry gets dead wrong is how to achieve that. Secretary Kerry seems to think that we can power a growing global economy through renewables alone, which is absolute fantasy. And if this administration and Secretary Kerry were serious about tackling global emissions, they would be doing everything possible to increase the production and export of American natural gas to displace international coal around the world, which is the single biggest source of global emissions, and that is increasing. But instead, they're penalizing American consumers, American families, stifling our economic growth, and impairing our energy security by imposing these costly new rules and regulations on American families, on energy producers, that are going to really hurt us in the long run.
Yeah, well said. Kevin OLeary is with me this morning. Go ahead, Kevin, jump in.
And a quick question. It seems to me that the industry has missed an opportunity to change the narrative on refining petroleum and developing the petroleum industry. I want to point out something that investors have been looking at this last week. The Chinese just greenlit a $14 billion refinery. And the narrative there is this technology sequesters carbon. It's a clean technology. It's being able to take fracked oil and gas, most of it's imported to China, and develop it in a carbon neutral fashion. Why aren't we using that narrative to do the same thing here stateside and stay within the mandate that Kerry is pushing? If we took the same opportunity, and I would love to invest in it, I'm right up there saying I want to invest in a refinery, just not in China. I'm scared about my capital coming home from there. But if we could do one stateside with the same technology the Chinese just greenlit, why aren't we talking that narrative so we don't have to be at odds regarding this carbon neutrality issue?
So I think you're raising a couple really important points, Kevin. And one is that, oil and natural gas and a lower carbon future are not mutually exclusive. We can have both. And America's leading oil and gas producers are leading the way in technologies like carbon capture and hydrogen development and things like that that we are going to need in the future to support a lower carbon future, but one that also allows for abundant energy. The other part of that, Kevin, is that we desperately need permitting reform so that we can build things in America again. We are really being stifled by permitting laws that are 5 decades old, that are being weaponized by activists who don't want anything built in America anymore. And so I really encourage Congress to reform our permitting laws, to bring them up to the 21st century so that we can support a 21st century energy program and not be hamstrung by these incredibly outdated permitting laws.
All right, Ann, thanks very much for weighing in. Great interview. We appreciate your time. Ann Bradbury joining us this morning on oil and the agenda.